Hey everyone, it's Daughter of Lilith. Today I wanted to talk about my very short reading list of books that have helped me as I've kind of shifted from vaguely left-hand path into more infernal and satanic things. So some of these books are just strictly for magic, some of these books are strictly for demons, but some of these books are also about Satanism and about Satan. So I'm going to be kind of going down my list from the least satanic to the most. So stick around if you want more books actually pertaining to Satanism, although if you are someone who's already started your path, chances are you already own these books, so I'm sorry if it's complete, but this video is mainly for people who are like, I don't know where to begin, I think I'm a theistic Satanist, and I don't know what I need, so, yeah. As the fucking motorcycles go by. Okay, so the first book that has helped me quite a bit when it comes to working with demons, particularly demons of the Goetia, is this book by Corwin Hargrove. It is called Goetia Pathworking. It's a very, very short book, so what you need to read before using it is basically this much, and the rest is up to, I think, the Q&A in the back. The rest of it is what you actually need to do. It's some of it's information about what you could contact the demons for, but it's basically their sigils and their pathworking keys. Now, Corwin Hargrove is not a Satanist, just beware. I'm pretty sure he is a ceremonial magician, so again, beware. But this method I like because it does not demand the demon to appear. It does not call in a bunch of fucking angels and a bunch of fucking names of Yahweh. It's just using elemental correspondences, elemental keys to align yourself with the energy of that demon. And I would describe it kind of like, he describes it as invocation. To me, it doesn't quite feel like an invocation. It almost feels like, because an invocation to me is like having a demon on the phone, you know, talking to you, or on video chat or whatever. Whereas this feels like leaving a voicemail. Okay, so this is really, if you're an experienced magician, you're probably going to be bored with this, but for me, as I've gone on in my practice, I do find that it is, I have ADHD, so if I do the same thing to contact a demon every time, my brain actually stops paying attention. So I like to come to this and then be like, okay, what's the elemental keys of this? And that is a whole different meditation that forces me to pay attention and to align myself with the demonic energy before I get into actual invocation. So that's what I mainly use it for, even though this book is presented as like, basically call up the demon, have the demon do the magic for you, and then close the book. I don't do it that way. I feel it's a little entitled to do it that way. I always give thanks if I contact them at all. I mainly use this so that if it's a demon that I don't feel is already connected to a demon I already know, who can introduce me, or if I'm approaching a demon just kind of out of nowhere, I will use this to just introduce myself to the demon. I will align myself with their energy and kind of be like, hello, I'm interested in working with you. You know, if you're interested, I'll be awaiting your sign. If not, all respect, you know, whatever. So that's how I use this book as a satanic witch, because as a witch, I don't need spirits to do magic for me. If I'm contacting a spirit because I'm trying to learn something, they may aid me in magic if we build a relationship together, but I'm not asking random spirits to do magic for me. I think that's not magic, that's conjuration, and yeah, I'm a witch. I don't need to be doing that. So, but it is useful and helpful. The only big critique I have is the circles. I don't like the circles, but they do help you concentrate when you're first beginning. I'm someone who will redraw the sigil onto like a black mirror and then go about it that way. So that's what I do. Okay. Moving on, getting a little more satanic, although not quite, is S. Connolly's book, The Complete Book of Demonolatry. I use this book mainly as a resource. If I am trying to find a demon's N, there's actually an N in here. If there is no agreed upon N for the demon, there's an N in here you can use for any demon, which I find useful. I like to look in here for inspiration about rituals, inspiration about, there's like a list of different demons that from different cultures. Very, 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 very brief and kind of shitty descriptions, but if there's a name in here that I am drawn to, it will lead me to do more research. So I do enjoy that. I'm not a fan of classifying demons in hierarchies, but if you're into that, this book does that. There's different rituals in here to, in Demonolatry it's called the 9 demonic divinities, or like the you know what I mean, the you need. Okay, it's basically the you need, and the demons that correspond to it. But you see that I have like a couple things bookmarked. I have written all over this book because it has helped me a lot, even though I'm not someone who utilizes hermetics, because again, I'm a witch, not a white magician, so I'm not too interested in that. But if you're someone who is interested in demonolatry as a religion, or combining it with Satanism, you're probably going to need this book, so check it out. She's a great author. There's a lot of typos in here, though, that bug me. A lot of misspellings, because I'm a little bit of a grammar Nazi. But the content is useful. The content is helpful. I'm not someone who's a fan of reducing the demons down to just being elementals. That's really not my opinion, but it is essential for this system. It is its own system of magic. So, and it is helpful to deduce correspondences. If you know anything about hermetic sciences, you can take the information here and be like, okay, well, if they correspond this way, then I know this planet, da-da-da-da-da. You know, this planet, these herbs. That's why it's useful as a witch to know that shit. So, good book. Good book. S. Connolly is an excellent person to talk to about working with demons. She has a lot of experience. She was someone who is very magically adept. You know, I would say, you know, in her own circle, she is a master of what she does. So, kudos to her. I think she is some good shit, even though I don't have use for all of it. Okay. Next book, I really just need to get out of the way, is, of course, the Satanic Bible. This book is near and dear to my heart because I just enjoy reading it. Number one, I just enjoy reading it, and two, it's a good relic to Satanic culture. I think the earlier with the Satanic, the Church of Satan, like, the better in regards to connecting it to traditional or spiritual Satanism. The rituals in the back are, I think Corwin was talking about how they are kind of mislabeled as the Enochian keys, because they actually have nothing to do with Enochian magic. It's just that it's written in Enochian language. So, okay. But, you know, I did find reading about the magic theory and practice to be very helpful. It did come in alignment with my gnosis in chaos magic and my research there. So I know that at least the bare bones of how the magic works, like, you know, it fits together very well if you want to do those rituals. And then, of course, the philosophy is very important. I would highly recommend that everyone reads the entire book cover to cover. I really resent when people read a passage or two and then go around saying that there's all kinds of stuff in here that there isn't. Looking at you, white light pagans. Actually read the fucking book. Thanks. Okay. But, you know, I this book just gives me comfort. Like, I just love to open it up and read something from it, and I just find it inspiring. I just find it empowering and inspiring, and I think that's always important for Satanists to have. Okay, next book I want to do like a full review on. So I'm just going to touch on it now. I believe this person is in the same circles as Connolly and may also be a Demonolator as well as a Satanist, because a lot of that does show in this book. So if you're looking for traditional Satanism, this book might annoy you a little bit, but I think the early chapters are very valuable, and it's called Book of the Fallen by Martin McGreggor. Satanic Theory, Ethics, and Practice. So I actually really enjoyed the theory and ethics discussions in the beginning. I normally hate that kind of talk. I enjoy his writing style. I enjoy, some people in the reviews said it was like super pretentious. It's not. It's a very accessible work. I used to be like into a bunch of academic shit, and I can tell you what pretentious sounds like. This, I feel like it's a very friendly author's voice, and really complex philosophical discussions in the beginning that are simplified in such a way that you can draw your own conclusions. I like that he doesn't like force upon anybody how to think about it. I mean, he does express some opinions, but, you know. And then later the book gets into practice, and I really have enjoyed some of the meditations in here. My only issue is, as the book goes on with the magic and stuff, it seems to incorporate Satan a little less and focus more on other demons, and that I feel is a little too personal to the author, because which demons we work with is personal, even if you're a Demonolator. And if you're just a monotheistic Satanist and Satan is the only deity you acknowledge, it might be a little annoying, you know, it might be a little annoying to you. So keep that in mind. But however, I find a lot of the meditations useful to just build a solid practice, and he has laid out some good techniques for building like a devotional practice, like a daily devotional practice. Some of this shit is, though, just straight pulled from Connolly's work, like these demonic hierarchies, which is very unnecessary to put in a book about Satanism, but whatever. You know, hit and miss, but I really did enjoy reading this book, and I do recommend it to people who are interested in Infernal paths. So I will probably be doing a review of this book later, you know, but I really enjoy it. Last, but certainly not least, I actually saved the best for last, is, of course, you've probably seen this book everywhere, but in case you haven't, you need to see it now. At Satan's Altar by Marie Ravensoul. This little book has my heart, okay? Like, I first got this book, this is the first, before I, you know, bought the Satanic Bible, and before I bought Book of the Fallen, I bought this book, and I'm so glad I bought this book first. This book is, I mean, it's mainly a prayer book. There are some rituals, there are some hymns and affirmations, and there's some information about Satan and how he chooses his devotees, which I found very affirming and helpful, you know, and I did not expect to read about. Goodness. There's like wax inside this book. I've had this book with me, like I've taken it with me. If I travel, I take it with me. I love this book. When I remember when I first got it and everything was very new to me, just flipping through this book, and still now, I can feel Satan on every page, okay? And the illustrations in here, who are the illustrators again? I always forget. Amanda McNeil and Letitia Finder. Hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly. The illustrations in here I really appreciate. I don't know how well they'll show up on camera, but I just find them very charming, and they're not trying to be super edgy and scary and shit, which gets annoying to me in like satanic Facebook groups and shit. Not that like I'm against, you know, horror themed like satanic art, but I really love seeing different kinds of depictions of Satanists that are not trying to get a reaction out of people. Like, I really like this one. And there's another one. Where is it? Where the Dark Angel is anointing someone. Where is it? Goodness, I should look at the table of contents. That might help. Oh, and I have, like, put little hearts next to, like, my favorite prayers. But I had to stop myself because I was just going to put hearts on, like, all of them. So, where are you? Satanic anointing. Okay. Way earlier in the book than I remember. Okay. I really like this illustration. I don't know why. I just really resonate with it. And, just reading this particular little section I was really resonating with. And just beautiful. The affirmations I love so much. I read them often. This book is just such a good... I don't know, it's just such it's a good little tool to have in your toolkit by your altar. Because sometimes we're overwhelmed and we just don't know what to say, and it can be helpful to have words written for us by someone who is so devoted to our Lord. So, love it, love it, love it. If you're a traditional Satanist, you'll probably love this book because I believe Marie Ravensoul herself is a traditional Satanist, so she has a lot of those... that background and that knowledge that shows through here without, you know, without breaking oaths and without, you know, getting too personal, and still leaving room for you to personalize your practice. So, you know, there's just some things in here that come from her perspective, and if it doesn't resonate, then don't force it. But, and be sure to read through the prayers before you say them, because you want to make sure that you mean what you say to Satan. But they are beautiful prayers, and I turn to this book so often. This book is, like, not even that old, and it's getting pretty beat up because I've loved on it so much, okay? I've taken it with me everywhere I travel, and yeah, it is, this book itself is an altar to Satan. That's how I see this book. I love this book. And, like, look at the illustrations. Like, they're so fucking precious. Like, anyway, so she does lay out how to give offerings, what tools would be helpful on the Satanic altar, rituals to devote yourself to Satan. There is a 9-day devotional, which I need to set aside some time to do, okay? And some preparations to do, but I would love to do, if not what's written here, my own version of it, because that's very appealing to me. But yes, this book, absolutely 100%. Now, there's some books I haven't mentioned because I don't own them yet, but I want to own the Spiritual Satanist prayer book by Venus Satanis, and then I'm also looking to get... I'm behind on the Devil's Coven podcast, but Kendra Rivenman mentioned she's writing another book on satanic witchcraft, and I hope to snag that book. Oh, and her book Lucifer Devotional. I haven't snagged that yet either. As I'm writing a book about Lilith, so everything's kind of... I'm kind of telling myself not to buy a bunch of books right now and just read the books I have. So I hope this is helpful. I rambled on a bit, but I like to give a bit of information about books, and so you know what you're buying, you know? But thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for anyone who's a beginner. If you're not a beginner, you probably didn't find it helpful, but at least maybe interesting. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.